pretty darn soon! Let's go! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finals of the European Nations Cup here in Left 4 Dead 2, with the Germanics versus the Russians, or the Germanic peoples versus the Slavic peoples. Who will be crowned the champions of Europe? We will find out pretty darn soon! Let's go! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finals of the European Nations Cup here in Left 4 Dead 2, with the Germanics versus the Russians, or the Germanic peoples versus the Slavic peoples. Who will be crowned the champions of Europe? We will find out pretty darn soon! Let's go! Good Good evening, morning, night, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the grand finals of the European Nations Cup here in Left 4 Dead 2, of which I am so incredibly excited for. But first, we need to determine what maps we're playing, because as you can see, we don't know yet. We're doing a picking and banning phase. The map pools are already there for the teams. They just need to ban one each. So starting with the Germanics vote, we're going to start with them. And we will await their decision. They're going to be discussing between them, so it may take them some time, but I'm going to ask that they get to it. And they have a few options, and I'm wondering what they are going to ban. I know that there is a preference towards yes, hard rain downpour. Okay, so the Germanics have banned hard rain downpour, which means that there is no option for them to choose. And now it is up to Lions team to ban a map. And they have decided to ban Dark Carnival Remix. So we will not be seeing hard rain downpour, nor will we be seeing DC Remix. And then in terms of picks, we are going to go Germanics are going to pick the first map we will be playing, and then the Russians, following this pick, will choose from the remaining map pool what they are going to pick here. Interesting bans. The Pacifist has been chosen by the Germanics, so the first map we will be playing is the Pacifist, and now we have a final map pick from the Russians. Let's just see what they pick here. I wonder what they're going to go for. To be honest, I have a feeling it is going to be Swamp Fever. I don't know, but I just have this feeling it's going to be Swamp Fever. They do quite like that map. I know they very much do like it. Oh, they've gone. I did not expect that at all. They've picked Dead Air. So Dead Air will be the second map that we will be playing. We're going to start with the Pacifist. I'm actually going to leave this lobby and rejoin it for a more capable person to be kind of managing the lobby per se. But that's very interesting. That is, I did not expect that. Vino, would you mind inviting me to the lobby? That's a very interesting decision, actually. I did not expect them to pick Dead Air at all. So so there we have it. We are going to start with the passive. I'm just going to tell these guys what we're doing. We're going to be playing on an Asylum server, EU. And yeah, so we're going to start with the Pacifist, and then we're going to move into Dead Air. Now, these are very interesting decisions. I did not expect the Dead Air choice at all. That completely threw me off guard. I thought it was going to be Swamp Fever. But there we have it. That's going to be an exciting installment, and as you guys can probably tell by now, it's going to be a 2-campaign installment. So I still can't get over how surprising that Dead Air pick is. I did not anticipate them to pick that. I was so sure that they were going to go Swamp Fever. For some reason, I had this inkling, but there we have it. We will be going live fairly shortly. We did extend the time that this match was going to take to go live, primarily because we wanted to show you guys the trailer. We wanted to put that trailer on repeat. That trailer of me screaming "Let's go" into the microphone. But yes, indeed, that is a trailer. And I'm just going to have a quick moment of silence here, ladies and gentlemen, while I communicate with these teams on some questions and concerns. Points are calculated in total from both maps, and it's not home away. It's both of them going to be EU. Nearly ready, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few more things to configure. Just one more little detail, and then we will be ready to get this thing going. Okie dokie. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready in the server and looking to be going live pretty soon once the ready up phase is over. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finals here in Left 4 Dead 2. I just got a shout out from Frey there saying that the trailer was sick as F. I'm not going to say the word, of course, but thank you very much, Frey, and thank you very much to everybody else who did enjoy it as much as that. I really hope everybody did, because it is an awesome trailer. It was with hype to the max, and that is exactly what I'm feeling right now. We have the Pacifice followed by Dead Air here in this grand finals. Just remember, guys, that Niels is the creator of both the original and this grand finals trailer, so that is the person to thank, the man by the name of Niels. He has produced both of these two things, both of these two absolutely beautiful specimens, especially this one, considering the hype factor and the fact that essentially I scream into the microphone, "Let's go." That's exactly how we're feeling right now. We have 3 people readied up on both sides. We're going to be going live pretty soon. Soon, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be establishing who is the champion in Europe. Is it going to be the Germanic peoples consisting of England, Denmark, and Germany, or is it going to be the Russians comprised of Reg, Ice, Snipe, and Lion, all from Russia? And this is going to be an incredibly exciting installment, and the winner of this is going to be crowned the winner of Europe and the champions of Europe. Not to mention they will be getting a cash prize each. I am actually still in the process of giving the cash prize over to the 3rd place competitors, Kazakhstan, Lucia, who put up a very good fight, but unfortunately couldn't make it here into this grand final. So, as you can see by the trailer, if you hopefully you didn't miss it, there were some shout-outs to all the previous teams. And ladies and gentlemen, the champion of Europe will be established pretty soon. That's a jockey in the distance. Hunter interception. That's going to be a clear onto the jockey, and the damage is limited. So the survivors are going to be making their way forward here. They're going to be moving into the upcoming closed area. And let's just see what kind of prevention they can put into play here. Gonna be a hunter spitter combination with a charger and a boomer in a closed area / staircase, which is gonna be pretty devastating. Hunter is shut down so quickly though. Charger moves in. He can't synchronize with the spitter, nor can he even land for that matter. And that is going to be the Russians looking in very good health here, progressing forward. They are not going to be, well, actually, no, I was going to say they're not going to be worried about the alarm car, but then I realized that's not an alarm car. The alarm car is ahead. So they still have to worry about the alarm car here. Jockey, Hunter, Smoker, and a Spitter in the hands of the Germanics, of whom are on the infected side to begin with, of course. Either they go with the alarm car or they go earlier. They're going to be going with the alarm car here, which of course is the wise decision. The alarm car is going to add some extra havoc that the survivors really could do without. Patient gameplay from both of the 2 sides here. That's Rochelle ahead of the alarm car. The other 3 survivors are behind the alarm car. Hunter is going to get a 6 damage pounce, followed by a spit combination. Jockey's looking for him. He not only triggers the alarm car, but gets extra damage with the spit. So that's very well played by the jockey there. So that is going to be them triggering the alarm card. That's going to be extra horde. There won't be a boom or anything, but that's still going to be common infected progressively, well, actually rapidly trickling in. There's going to be a spitter boomer with a hunter and a charger as well, which they will have to attack here because the survivors are not going to run out into the open area there. They're going to stay in this room and take the common infected. That's going to be a hunter landing, followed by spit. That's going to be a triple boom. Nick finds his way out of the spit. Sorry guys, I lost my words for a second there in 2 separate sentences, but I have returned. Here we have it. So that's going to be some very significant damage inflicted onto the Russians. Nothing too concerning. You know, they don't have to take any pain pills for starters, and they're all on green HP as well. That's going to be Ellis on the worst of their HP, being at 56. That is going to be a hunter landing, followed by jockey. That's going to be a smoke in the distance. That's going to be the charger teaming up with the jockey. The damage is significant. That was actually a quad cap, but I don't think that really matters too much because it didn't actually succeed its intention. The Russians are playing hyper aggressive here though. They're going to push this tank and straight into his face, and they're going to be not landing 2 of the rocks they've thrown. Boom's going to get onto 2 survivors. That's a hunter, a separation hunter. The tank is blocking their path to him. and the survivors are completely unaware of it. The tank is going to die, however, so they switched their focus onto the... But is the hunter going to kill his victim? He's actually not going to. That's going to be them being able to revive Nick there, and actually them not going for Nick and instead focusing the tank, I believe, actually worked very much in the favor of the Russians there. Very good decision making, especially kind of very fast decision making as well. That's going to be a Jockey, Spitter, Smoker, and a Boomer for the Germanics for this next infected attack. Smoker is behind the survivors. He's in a position behind the tent there. Let's just see how this infected attack goes. That's going to be a smoke onto Nick there, only lasting for a brief moment. Jockey is moving in as well, but gets himself shut down, as does the Boomer. That's going to be only a Spitter remaining in the hands of Yumi, the Englishman, of whom is going to spit in front of the doorway, which is going to delay the survivors just a little bit longer. But it's not going to be enough to suffer another infected attack. And in they move with 1,068 points into their hands here, leading into the second half of the first chapter of the parish. And that is a pretty good amount of points for them to achieve as well. Each of them acquired 142 points per, well, that is per survivor. So that is a very good number, and that's a very good position for the Germans. The Russians to be in. There are no Germans. There is one German. There are the Germanics, though, but that is a completely different equation. And in case anybody is confused, by the way, these guys are, as you can see, comprised of Denmark, Germany, and England. And if you're confused as to why that is basically because they are all related to the Germanic peoples, historically. Denmark is a part of Scandinavia, of which is Germanic. England speaks the Germanic language. Anyway, ignore that. Attack is moving in. That's going to be a successful scratch charge, but that's as much damage as they will manage to inflict after the Smoker gets a final bit of damage onto Coach, and the survivors are going to make their way forward, mitigating the damage fairly well, but the damage that Coach took was actually not so bad, to be honest with you. But yes, Germanic peoples, England again has ties with Scandinavia, has ties with Germany, speaks a Germanic language, as does Denmark, and then of course, again, Germany, Germanic, that's very self-explanatory. Charger moves in the closed area. That's going to be a charge spit combination. Nothing else though. That's going to be a good skeet by MC there. And that's going to deny any further damage, but that's a very good charge spit combination inflicted by the Russians as the Germanics make their way out into the open area. There is that infamous alarm car that they have to deal with that actually, not infamous alarm car, but cars. There is two of them, in fact. Jockey, Charger, Boomer, and a Smoker. Smoker from behind lands onto Nick. That's a separation attempt. An interception attempt from the Charger, but it cannot land. Neither can the Jockey. Well, he can land, but only for a brief period. That's going to be significant damage inflicted onto our poor fellow Coach here. Sitting on 52 HP, not enough for him to take his pain pills, but he may need to during the tank fight. They have, however, avoided the alarm cars, and that is a good result for them. A Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, Charger is not a good result for them, though. There is a Hunter pre-spawned, but he's given away his location. And again, he doesn't make any sound. Good dead stop onto the Boomer, followed by shooting through the roof. That's going to shut the Boomer down. No threat of him then. And there's going to be a Charger waiting at the top of the staircase, but his spawn is blocked. Charger moves in, lands temporarily onto MC, but a very fast clear by him. Survivors are looking to achieve the same strategy by pushing, but the Spitter delay actually prevented them from pushing him hard enough. Tank is going to be curving some rocks, but nicely dealt with by the Germanics. They are pushing him, and the tank is going to then push them. He's looking for his first pin. Can't get it onto Rochelle just yet. He finally manages to. That's going to be a Boomer shot down by the Germanics. That's going to be a Smoker onto Nick. Rochelle is nearly in-capped. Looks like she's not going to be in-capped by this tank fight, though, unless she doesn't take her pain pills. But then again, the tank is going to be perishing there here on the sacrifice. I love when I say perish because it reminds me of the parish. 34% damage inflicted onto the tank by Josie, the Englishman. And the survivors are going to move only as fast as their slowest survivor, that being Josie, aka Rochelle.
Reloading.
They have a charger, Spitter, Hunter, and a Boomer. The Russians do, but let's just see how effectively they can pull it off here, because it's dependent on it. Hunter is pouncing around, but he gets so nicely shut down by MC there. MC plus shotgun plus Hunter equals Hunter dies. It's just a very simple but very reliable equation there. MC is very talented when he has a shotgun in his hands. That's going to put the Germanics into the safe room with 1,224 points and the lead here, leading into the second chapter, but not very much is separating these two teams at all. In fact, less than 200 points, for that matter, is separating these two teams as we lead into the second chapter of the Pacifice. I'm still so surprised that the Russians decided to pick Dead Air instead of Swamp Fever. That decision really surprised me because they do like Swamp Fever, and I believe they had a preference over it. Nonetheless, we are going to be seeing Dead Air after this campaign, so we will be going live on the second chapter.
Let's get to street level.
We have the staircase choke point to deal with. There is no charger for it, though, for the Russians. They have a Hunter and a Boomer, followed by a Spitter and a Jockey. So it's not the greatest setup in the world. Ideally, you need a charger. That's a Boomer from on top. Nicely dodged by Coach, though. He dodged the vomit by hugging the wall, essentially. In move the Special Infected. That's going to be the Hunter, plus the Spitter, looking for the death spit damage as well, and the Jockey. They absolutely pile onto Nick there, and he took so much damage. The insatiable, aggressive, ruthless Russians have inflicted so much damage onto Nick there. He sits currently at 45 HP, and my goodness, that was well coordinated by the Russians. They're going to be moving forward now, and they are going to be very dissatisfied with that result. There's going to be a Smoker, Charger, Hunter, and a Spitter in the hands of the Russians for this upcoming pool table choke point slash, staircase choke point more appropriately. Charger moves in, gets a scratch. There will be a Hunt Spit combination onto Coach, though, but he will be able to melee the Spitter out of the way, and that is of course going to inflict enough damage onto Nick, aka MC, to take his pain pills as well. So they have 3 of their 4 pain pills. Of course, there are spare sets lying around in random locations in the map. Boomer tries a rocket boom there, but gets caught in the door frame. Therefore, that's going to be no success from him. Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey are what remain in the hands of the Russian. It will either be a Spitter or it will be a quad cap. Neither of those are good results, really, for the Germanics, that's for sure. It's going to be a Smoker. I don't know why I said Jockey. It's going to be a Smoker. Therefore, it is going to be a quad cap in the hands of the Russians. They're going to be looking to make it work. In moves the Hunter. The Hunter is shut down so easily, though. That's going to be the Smoker landing for much longer than the Russians, than the Germanics, would have liked. Nonetheless, they did shut down the quad cap attempt by the Russians, and the Germanics are going to be making their way forward here. I think at this rate, though, Nick is going to look to take a second set of pain pills at this rate, which is going to reduce their pain pills from 3 to 2. That's going to be a good dead stop by Nick, followed by a shutdown on the Boomer. Hunter and Jockey moving in. Nice focus fire in the closed area, though, by the Germanics. That's going to be limited damage inflicted onto the Germanics, and they are going to be looking to progress further forward enough to trigger the tank, which they do so. Tank is going to be in the hands of Reg,
We have guns here.
who is going to be making his way to the survivors.
Keep to the walkway.
There's going to be a Hunter pre-spawn round the corner, gets shut down, as does the Boomer actually. At that rate, the Boomer gets nicely dead stopped and shut down. So, unfortunately for the Russians, they did not manage to achieve any significant delay whatsoever. Tank, as I say, going to be in the hands of Reg, who doesn't really have much option but to pretty much go in as soon as he is able to. He is going to be on pass number 2, 90% of it. So let's just see what they choose to do here. Well, I don't know why I say that, to be honest, because the only thing they can do is send the tank straight in. Reg is actually pausing here for a moment. In he moves, so a jockey, Hunter, Smoker. Tank is going to be moving in, 10% rage, so he was a bit close there. He cut a fine line there. First punch onto Nick is successful, but that will be the death of the Smoker, and the tank can't find his way around the van. That will be a shutdown onto the Hunter, followed by the jockey just about. Oh, not quite actually. He's going to provide enough chaos that the tank gets an in-cap and the jockey gets some damage. So to be honest with you, the Russians actually performed quite well there. That was a good jockey. The jockey actually, I would say, other than of course the tank, was the MVP there because it caused enough chaos that he allowed for the in-cap and also some extra damage from the tank. So all in all, good play by both of these sides here. That's going to be the charge around the corner. Gets a scratch, but not a charge. That's going to be some spit damage onto Rochelle. The Smoker tried to continue the spit damage. That's going to be a proxy boom onto 2 survivors as well. But they're not going to find much difficulty with it because there are no other special infected to contend with. All that's up so far is a Hunter. We will know in a second. There's going to be a Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey with a Spitter. Survivors are making their way down the staircase. Drop down here. Hunter lands first. Looks like Spit's going to coordinate himself with it. That's going to be absolutely ruthless damage onto Ellis. Nearly an in-cap, but not quite, but very well played by the Russians there. That was an absolutely ruthless attack, and they really asserted their dominance there. That's going to be some significant damage onto Ellis. And although they have no tank to worry about, they have a slow survivor to worry about. Separation Smoker in the back, followed by Hunter. That's going to be a Jockey and a Boomer moving in as well. Gets a very nice triple boom. There is no in-cap onto Thug Life, aka Rochelle, though, which is what they wanted. And that would actually have been a good result. Unfortunately, it was not successful, though. Survivors are going to be moving, but only as fast as their slowest survivor, that being Ellis. Smoker, Charger, Spitter, and the Hunter in the hands of the special infected. Spitter is going to go first, but gets shut down before any spit can leave his mouth, basically. Separation Smoker attempt is denied by the common infected because they are very good at body blocking. And that's going to be the shutdown of the attack here. That was an instant clear as well onto the Hunter. The survivors not looking in great health, but they're looking in good enough health that if they maintain this HP, they could be looking at extending their lead by, well, as much as they can, basically, to be honest, at this rate. It's not a survivor-friendly map. It's going to be a Smoker, Jockey, Charger, and the Boomer. Smoker from in front lands onto Coach, but only for a brief period. That will be a Charger landing onto Rochelle and causing some extra damage to her, but only as much as the damage he inflicts when he stops. That being either 8 or 10. I can't quite remember which that is. Nonetheless, the survivors are making their way forward. They will be a few steps away from the safe room at this rate, but they won't be avoiding an attack. In it moves. Hunter first, Spit second. That's going to be an unsuccessful Charger who charges into the wall. The Smoker is shut down before any more damage can happen. And I have to say, that was very well played by Thug Life, aka Ellis. for Thug Life specifically to avoid being incapacitated for that entire time, because he was one scratch away from being incapped, but he survived from then until now without getting that incap. That we're going to be moving into the second half of the second chapter here. The Russians are now going to be on the survivor side, and it's going to be very interesting to see what can be achieved here. This staircase choke point is so lethal, but to be honest with you, the level of lethal damage it can inflict, well, it's greatly reduced by not having a charger. I would say that the charger is a very crucial and very beneficial special infected to have in this choke point here. So the absence of the charger is not really in their favor. It wasn't really in the favor of the previous team also. Just waiting on the Russians to checking on the Russians to make sure all is well before we ready up in the second half of the second chapter. Have to say though, this tournament has been a roller coaster, and it has been full of adrenaline. And as you could probably hear in my voice in the trailer, I'm feeling the adrenaline too. That is for certain. We'll be going live here. It's going to be a Yumi tank, which is an English tank there. Gonna be a Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey, so the absence of the charger. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's interesting. Jockey from behind, Hunter from on top. Shut down on the rocket boom though, and that's going to be a shutdown onto everything, literally everything, and the only damage really is inflicted onto Coach, that being 4. Oh, some extra damage there. I'm not sure what by, but Rochelle took some extra damage there. But onwards and upwards for the Russians. They are currently, of course, playing very consistently, but that was only the first attack. So let's just see if they can continue.
Down by the pipe.
Excuse me, very sorry about that. Smoker, Charger, Hunter, followed by a Boomer. Let's just see what they can make happen here in this kind of staircase hybrid indoor-outdoor choke point. Hunter is pre-spawned behind the cement mixing vehicle. Pounces in, gets shut down. Nice triple charge though, followed by two pummels. My goodness, what a charger there. That was absolutely ruthless, absolutely relentless. That is, wow, that is a triple charge and a quadruple Boomer. Not to mention, by the way, that is the success story for the Germanics there. What a triple charge. Absolutely phenomenal. Only a Jockey, Spitter, and Hunter to speak of right now. Hunter is in the back, going for Nick, followed by the Spit. That's going to be some good damage. Charger goes for the same target. He's kept in the Spit long enough for nearly an in-cap. Not quite an in-cap, but it was very close. He was on the threshold there. So that was very well played by the Germanics, but equally very well played by the Russians to continue progressing here. That is going to be a Boomer, Smoker, Hunter, and in one more second, a Jockey. Let's just see. They don't have a charger, so they can't dream of the of that triple charge. But my goodness, that triple charge was absolutely devastating. Patient gameplay from both of these teams, as you would expect, especially in a staircase kind of choke point as well. Hunter is pre-spawn, moving in for Rochelle, lands, that's a good dual cap, and Nick is round the corner as well, so they can't clear him super quick. That's going to be some good damage overall inflicted by the Germanics. That's going to be Nick taking his pain pills. Nick is at temporary HP as well, so he's not in the greatest state. The Russians in total have 2 sets of pain pills, and, well, that is just about going to suffice for now, but let's just see how much of their HP they can maintain before this tank
I'm gonna whack the
And
shit out of
after it,
someone.
more importantly,
Sure
they
why.
do need to
Could
survive
make a
this
ride,
tank
believe
and,
About me, I'll be okay.
well, maintain their HP. So let's just see.
hope
Smoker,
phase
Spitter,
2 is as
Hunter,
good
and
as
a
phase
Charger. They are being patient, but they are going to attack pretty soon. Hunter moves in first, gets shut down very nicely by the Russians, though. That's going to be a Smoker in the doorway, just jumping around. Charger's going to be moving in for the survivors. Can't land anything just yet, though. He's just patiently waiting around the corner. Gets the scratch charge. So that's some more damage inflicted onto Ellis, but really, honestly, that is quite insignificant. They don't need to worry too much about that. And luckily for Rochelle as well, she is above 40 HP. Well, she is exactly 40 HP, so she has had no need to take her pain pills due to being at 40 HP, the fast to slow threshold.
Not done yet.
Tank, as I say, is in the hands of Yumi. Hunter is moving in, but gets skeeted very nicely by Ice there. Nicely by Ice. I like that. That's going to be a double boom, and that's going to be a successful jockey as well. The tank is just about, well, nearby the survivors. He doesn't really have much options, well, many options at his disposal, though. He will have to be moving in pretty soon. The survivors are all fast and all at just above 80 HP. That's going to be a Smoker looking to set up for the tank. First, followed by second punch onto Rochelle is successful. Switches his focus, though. Can't find anybody else. Charger can't land. The Hunter sure can land, though. That's going to be some following scratches. Double punch inflicted by Yumi, followed by another punch onto Ellis, and the survivors are going to make their way forward. Wow, that was a very, very good double punch inflicted by Yumi, but very well played by the Germanics to shut down the tank. But they have to be so careful of Reg, aka Ellis, though. He is in the back, and, well, yeah, they need to be careful of that. They can't have any unnecessary separation here. Any separation they do needs to be intentional and with a good purpose. That's a proxy boom onto one survivor. Jockey is moving in, as with the Smoker. Jockey gets dead stopped and shut down, and the Smoker can't really make anything happen either, so that's a shutdown overall. And the survivors are going to continue to progress, but they have so much more of the map to get through. And only a Hunter to speak of in the hands of the Germanics. Charger, Spitter, Hunter, and a Boomer. So that's a very good attack for an indoor location. The Russians need to protect Coach at all costs. Charger moves in, connects with Nick. The Hunter connects with Ellis, but he can't be cleared because the survivors need to get round to him. Actually, Nick's incapacitated pistol allows him to clear the Hunter, and that's going to be the revival of Ellis, followed by the progression of the Russian survivor side. They might be able to make it down the staircase drop-down choke point if they're quick enough. They do indeed manage to do it. So they are in the open area, but they now have a ladder/corridor choke point, and these corridors, they're very narrow. A Charger is pretty much guaranteed to land on you. If you're inside these corridors here, you cannot dodge the Charger. Smoker, Boomer, Charger, and a Jockey is in the hands of the Germanics here. They have to be careful of their health as well. Rochelle is on 1 HP. If they purposely in-cap her, the infected will attack, and they will capitalize off it. So they can't really afford to do that. Rochelle is moving first. That's going to be a very good charge onto Ellis, followed by some pummels. That will be an in-cap. That's going to be a Jockey in the back moving in. Good Charger, though. That's going to be a revival onto Ellis, which is successful. It's unsuccessful, excuse me. That's going to be a purposeful in-cap onto Nick, who should not have stopped that revival there at all. He should have kept it going. But nonetheless, the Russians are looking at one person being black and white, that being Ellis. They're going to make their way forward. They have to protect Coach at all costs, as well as Ellis. Hunter is shut down so nicely, though. That denies the Spitter any chance to synchronize with anybody. Charger and Smoker might look for a two-person attack here. They do so. The Charger moves in, but is shut down so efficiently. Smoker in the back is shut down as well, but they have to be careful because, as I say, Ellis is black and white, which means that he will die if he falls to 0 HP. They're going to in-cap on purpose again, another one of their fellow survivors, as well as another one. They don't really care about the black and white at this point. They just want the distance points. That's going to be a spitter, prematurely spitting up onto the high ground. That's a hunter landing onto Reg. That's going to kill him. That's going to be 3 survivors dead, and the rest of them are going to make their way further forward into the corridor here. The Germanics are keeping the pressure up, and the pressure is absolutely ruthless by the Germanics. They have this corridor to get through, followed by a ladder, followed by a staircase, followed by another staircase. So in terms of the map design, it's not in their favor at this point in time. Charger, Smoker, Boomer, and the Spitter as well. Plenty of stumble opportunities in the Spit.
I need some help.
They have to be careful coming into this area though. Charger moves in, he lands, but he lands onto Coach, which is their health bonus. That's not going to be a death. It would have been a death if it was anybody else, but they at the very least have eliminated pretty much all of the health bonus now, and it is up to the Russians to go full speed ahead, full pedal to the metal. They really have to make it into the safe room as fast as they possibly can here. The attack is moving in. Good dead stop onto the jockey. Charger's moving in. Hunter lands temporarily. The Spit moves in. They shut the door, and they are able to make it into the safe room, albeit with an in-cap. But that is going to be 2,336 points in the hands of the Germanics. 1,832 points in the hands of the Russians, leading into not the third chapter of the passing. It is going to be now moving into the sacrifice. So it's going to be sacrifice 1 to 2. Which again, I have to say, is a very interesting kind of set of map choices here. We need to remember these points as well, Vanille. Please, can you make a note of these points for me, so that when we change the maps.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, there we are. So we are going to manually modify them, and it's going to be the sacrifice chapters 1 to 2, and that's going to be the first of the 2 campaigns that these teams do have at their disposal. I mean, I have to say, they are very surprising map picks, and I'm very, very glad that we didn't see the Parish, because these guys both do enjoy the Parish map.
This is the middle of nowhere.
I'm very happy that they
Zoe,
did not pick it.
Lewis.
I would have been disappointed because it is a map that we see very often. Nonetheless, I think actually the scores are saved in the chat anyway. Yeah, they're saved in the chat anyway, so don't worry. I just realized that Josie put it in the thing, so it's 2336, 2336, 2 Germanics, and then it is going to be 1832, 1832 to the Russians. And there we have it. So we're moving away from the passing, and we are passing away from it, excuse the pun, and we're going to be moving on to the sacrifice. But let's just see how these teams perform. This is the Germanics map choice as well. They are in the winner bracket, so they did get to choose the map first, as well as ban first as well, and they chose these teams. By the way, they banned Dark Carnival Remix, and they also banned Hard Rain Downpour as well. And I have to say, I understand why, because I wouldn't really want to see either of these teams on those maps. I think, to be honest, I think the Russians would be a lot stronger than the Germanics on Hard Rain Downpour, but I think it would reverse itself. I think it would be in reverse in the opposite equation. where I believe that the Germanics would be better than the Russians on a Dark Carnival. I personally think that the Russians would play a little bit too well on Hard Rain Downpour, and I think, you know, all hard feelings aside, I do think that the Germanics are aware of this, and they, you know, they want to eliminate any possible risks like that. And we will be going live slowly but surely into the first chapter of the Sacrifice, which, you know, I can't get over how surprising it is, but you know, we as viewers, we as the viewers of the tournament, we do want to see some exciting picks. And, well, these certainly qualify as exciting picks. We are going live, ladies and gentlemen. The third chapter across the 8 total chapters that we will be seeing here. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spitter to set us off, leading into this first attack from the Russians. There is a very shotgun-heavy setup. The only Uzi player is Lewis, aka Thug Life. Separation Smoker, interception Hunter. The spit goes onto the hunted victim as well. That's a very well-coordinated attack and very well played by the Russians, actually. That actually did inflict a lot of damage. The Smoker followed by Hunter, interception with the spit combining with the Hunter and the Boomer as well, making everything all the more devastating.
You sure this is the right way?
And yes, I don't mind swapping tanks, to be honest with you. I don't have a problem with that. Hunter, Charger, Smoker, and a Jockey. So it is going to be a quad cap. I'm going to say once, though. Just so that we don't have, you know, excessive tank swaps. But I will allow them 1 tank swap each if they so choose. This is going to be a Lion tank, providing, of course, they do not change it. But it is a quad cap as well. In it moves. Smoker is shut down so effectively, though. The Charger lands temporarily, as does the Jockey. And the damage they inflicted, again, isn't that bad. But then again, the Germanics are in very good health, and they are going to continue to progress forward with relative ease here. They are also going to replenish their ammo. There is a shotgun there, and the person who does not have a shotgun will just simply be told that he cannot pick it up, and his ammo will be replenished, and that was a good shutdown on the Boomer as well. They will be looking to pass the tank. Tank bin passed into the hands of Reg, so they have used up their tank pass. And I have to say that's an interesting choice as well. I wonder what Reg can bring to the table here. The survivors are opening the container, but that was a very nice shutdown. Incredibly nice shutdown, actually, by Zoe to have baited out the tank. But, you know, his location is right there, and they are pressuring him. In moves the Charger. Very nice Charger. That's going to be the landing of the Charger. That's going to be punches landed by the tank as well, but too much distance created. That's going to be a boom onto 1 survivor. Tank is going to be looking to make something happen with the curve rock, but the boat does not work in his favor. That does not bode well for the survivors. And, well, a very nice shutdown overall from the Germanics. The Russians not looking in a good position here, actually. That was a very good shutdown. Very efficiently dealt with.
A machine gun?
And the survivors are going to continue to progress here. Charger, Spitter, Hunter, and a Smoker. That is a dangerous setup. Let's see what happens with it. Hunter lands first and foremost. Separation Smoker is denied by headshots. That's going to be a Charger moving in with the Spitter, but the Charger can't land though, and that means neither can the Spitter. The Spitter instead is going to look to delay the survivors, which she indeed does do so. Just for fun, the survivors decided to ignite the gas canisters there. That's going to be a Jockey and a Boomer, followed by a Hunter. And that's going to be accompanied with a Smoker. So they don't have a Charger, but they do have a Tri-Cap with the Boomer. Let's just see how effective it can be with the absence of the charger, though. Smoker is moving in. Hunter lands first. Boomer gets a boom by proxy, but everything else is shut down with relative ease. The survivors looking in a good position right here, and they are going to continue to be looking in a good position here. And I see we have over 200 viewers as well, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. This is an absolute pleasure for me to deliver to you. That's going to be a Hunter spawning up on the rooftop to the right of the survivors. It's going to be a Charger, Smoker, Hunter, and a Spitter. Hunter, as I say, is pre-spawned, just looking for opportunities, but he can't find any just yet.
I might need these pills.
He's crouching around, looking to slow the survivors down. The Germanics are playing very, very admirably patient, though, I have to say. The safe room is a few steps away, but they are choosing against rushing into it. That's going to be a good separation charge, but they actually shut it down. Good separation Smoker. That's going to be a combination of a Hunter and a Spitter. So that is decent damage, actually. That's as much damage as they really could have hoped for there. They are going to make their way into the safe room here. And that is going to put them at 4,024 points. So it's up to the Russians to achieve a very high health bonus here. That is precisely what they need in order to stay in this game. But overall, yeah, we're looking at excitement here. We're going live straight away. The Russians need to really make sure that they are switched on and as focused as they possibly can be, because they really do need that concentration. They need that team morale. The Russians do with a deficit like this. They really do need to close it. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spitter in the hands of the Germanics. Hunter is pre-spawned to the right of the survivors. Smoker goes for the separation, but it is denied, as is the rocket boom, but the Hunt-Spit combination can land at least just for a brief period. Everything else, however, was shut down with such ease, and the Russian survivors are going to move forward very, very quickly here. This is very fast-paced, and that's exactly what you want to see. It's going to be a Boomer, Charger, Smoker, and a Jockey. They might look to try to attack here while they still have this choke point at their disposal. But they choose against it, and they're going to be a little bit more patient and wait for another choke point. Smoker pulls from behind, but the tongue is cut by Charger, goes in, but is shut down mid-path. Dead stop on the Jockey is, and then followed by a shutdown, and the Smoker is shut down as well. So the Russians so far in the last two attacks have played very efficiently and with absolute precision and just ferocity, really. They need to continue this, though. They have a tank fight to deal with, and that tank is going to be in the hands of MC. Boomer, Spitter, Hunter, and the Charger in the hands of the Germanics. Let's just see what they choose to do with this set.
Lewis, you gonna open that door or what?
Let's just see what happens here. The door is being opened, looking to curve rock. He can't get the curve rock though, but he's moving in regardless, and he's able to reposition because the infected allowed him to. They enough so that he could reposition onto the roof there. The tank is actually also looking to go for the car. So the Danish tank is going to be moving the car into play with that hit. That's a near in cap onto Zoe. So unfortunately for him, it did not land, but that's fortunate for the Russians and a good result for them. They can now move away from that car. They have to also be careful of the boats. Zoe is in an interesting position here. I'm not sure what she's going to be able to do here. They need to clear the tongue. They do clear the tongue. The car, on the other hand, is not playing ball. That's a stumble. That's going to be a Jockey landing. Curve Rock can't land, and Zoe gets a good clear. The tank hasn't landed anything with the car, however. He tries something with the boat, but he can't land. He lands... No, he doesn't land a punch. He is duped. Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, the Russians are on fire. They truly, well and truly are on fire here. Look at the tank dukes. Look at the way they handled that tank. That was devastating for the Germanics, but the Russians are on fire here, showing that Russian spirit. Team Russia are going to move forward. That's a charge of Spitter, Hunter, and a Boomer in the hands of the Germanics. Hunter is pouncing around for Bill there. He does land. No Spit to follow, though. Charger is looking to probably combine with the Spitter from round the corner. He does indeed do so. That's going to be a charge Spit combination. The Boomer, on the other hand, cannot land. That's going to be decent damage, but wow. I mean, the ferocity and the ruthlessness and just the heart and passion that these men have for their countries is really showing here, especially in that tank fight from the Russians. They absolutely annihilated that tank, and I am so impressed by it. Hunter, Jockey, Charger, and a Boomer. No, sorry, Smoker. That is going to be a quad cap. Smoker from behind. They're looking to reposition this quad cap here. They're going to respawn because they'd rather do this quad cap in a closed area. So let's just see if they can make it happen here. That will be devastating for the Russians if a quad cap lands here onto them. Hunter is pouncing around above them, so let's just see what can happen here. Patient gameplay, but of course we would anticipate it. There's nothing less that we would anticipate. It is going to be patient. Hunter is looking to move in. He does indeed move in. Hunter lands, Charger lands. Nothing else lands though. Well played again by Team Russia. They shut down that attack with ease. And Team Russia are making their way forward. And if they make it into the safe room with a health bonus like this, then they're going to be in a very good position in this match here, leading into the fourth and final chapter. They have one more attack to deal with. Jockey, Smoker, Spitter, and a Boomer. Arguably the worst setup in the game, but let's just see what the Germanics can do with it.
Reloading!
Spitter is behind the survivors here. Lewis is positioned on high ground, just kind of observing his surroundings, just making sure everything is all well and all in order. He drops down from the high ground. The safe room is a few steps away, but they really do want this last attack to come in. They're going to run into the safe room here. The Jockey moves in. He takes Bill out of the safe room. Stumble in the Spit as well. That is actually some good damage, to be honest. As much more damage than... Well, they would have wanted much more damage than that. Nonetheless, the Russians are going to make it into the safe room, and they have managed to keep this game a very tight game. That's going to be 4,024 points in the hands of the Germanics, 3,556 points in the hands of the Russians. Vanille, please, can you make a note of these scores? Because we're going to transfer these onto Dead Air when we go onto it. So 4,024 for the Russians, for the Germanics, excuse me, sorry. And
look, we're gonna find that cell.
Hold on,
right
wait, no, I'm talking.
Lewis,
Sorry, nope. I thought that was the four.
Just to make you sad.
Guys, you're gonna have to ignore me, to be honest with you. I've had way too much coffee, and I thought this was the finale, and I thought we were swapping onto Dead Air. Please forgive me, guys. Well, that is entirely my fault. Please excuse the kind of the coffee getting in the way there. That is essentially what happens when you're so excited for something like that. Oh god, I'm so excited for this. But then again, anyway, ignoring that mistake, the Russians are still in the game. They're only behind by 500 points. It's not significant. So, you know, let's just see what they can make happen here. The Germanics in possession of their 4,024 points. So, just waiting on Josie the German. and then we will be going live shortly after that. Very sorry for that mistake, by the way, guys. I hope I didn't kind of hype anybody up for no reason or anything like that, but yep, just simply a human error. We do have one more chapter remaining here on this installment. And also, guys, just so that you are aware, I am unable to check the Twitch chat. Well, I am able to, but very, very rarely. I barely see it, to be honest with you. So if you wish for me to do a shout out, that's a good skeet, actually. That's a good one-shot skeet. Boomer moves in, but gets shut down nicely. Good shutdown on the smoker as well. But if you wish for me to do a shout out for you, then please private message me on Steam. You can find me on the official group page for the tournament. And then you can send me a message if you would like me to shout anybody out here. That would be much appreciated, seeing as I can't actually do it via the Twitch chat.
Reloading.
Spitter, Jockey, Hunter, and a Charger is what the Russians have in this special infected setup. Charger is positioned above the survivors. Actually, everybody is positioned above the survivors here. From the Russians, it looks like one person's relocating. In they move. That's going to be a smoke hunt. That's going to be a hunt spit combination. Charger is unsuccessful, though the Charger gets shut down very quickly. But the Hunter Spitter combination actually did do some good damage onto Bill there.
Reloading.
So overall, well played so far by the Germanics, but they can't let this damage creep up on them because well, Bill being on 61 HP, it's not bad, but it's not the right direction to be going in. Smoker spawned up from behind. Boomer is shut down on the high ground. That's a Hunter pouncing around looking for a target, but gets so easily skeeted by MC there. MC being one of the two Dane. They I'm not sure what they did there, but there we have it.
Reloading.
Over the ship.
So we have a Charger, and that's all we have to speak of.
Reloading.
In the hands of the Russians, followed by a Boomer, Hunter, and a Jockey. It is going to be a Tricap. Boomer from above onto one survivor. Charger can't land. 3 damage pounce and a scratch onto Bill. So Bill has been taking the damage. He also got proxy boomed on as well and took some more hits from Common Infected. So in terms of the damage, Bill has been taking a large majority of it. He's currently sitting on 46 HP, and that is actually 6 HP above the threshold before, until you become nearly slow. 39 HP is when it actually happens, and your movement speed is slowed. In this choke point, they are not able to move any faster than walking speed. They are going to trigger the crescendo, of which is the crows kind of flocking around and triggering the Common Infect. They are just essentially going to trigger the crescendo and then move back. The Special Infected, however, the Russian Special Infected, are going to be looking to move an attack in here. Slowly but surely. Hunter is moving in. Nicely one-shot skeeted by Josie, though. That's going to be some good shutdowns overall. Some good damage inflicted onto Bill, but not much more to speak of. That was a very, very nice skeet by Josie, the German there. To be honest, I would say that all of these players are all equally as capable as each other in terms of skeeting Hunters, maybe with a slight advantage to Thug Life, seeing as he is prominent in both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 very extensively. And skeeting Hunters is certainly no strange feat for him. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Jockey. Boomer from below gets a boom onto one survivor. That's decent. Jockey is going to be moving in with the Hunter. Separation Smoker, interception Hunter. Unfortunately, he tried to go for a damage pounce there, but he couldn't get it. Nonetheless, that's a good tactic, though. They get the in-cap onto Bill. They smoked him and separated him. The in-cap would have been a lot faster had the damage pounce landed, but I do think that was a very smart tactic. Charger gets a good charge onto Coach there. Not Coach. What the hell? Not Coach. Bill, sorry. That's going to be the Spitter sacrificing his life, but the tank has spawned up and the survivors are being aggressive. They are chasing him down. The tank may have no other option but to move in here. This is a very dangerous place for the tank to be spawning at because, well, you can get thrown off this boat. You can literally get thrown off the boat, and that is going to kill you. You're not going to survive that by any means. So let's just see what happens here. Jockey, Hunter, and the Smoker. They're skeeting these rocks very well, though. Well, MC specifically is getting all of them. Tank is running out of options here. He's on pass number 1 at 15%, trickling down to his second pass. They are good curve rocks, though. I'll give him that. They are good curve rocks, but they are unsuccessful. He's trying probably one more before he chooses to go in, which he does indeed choose to go in. Smoker tries to get the separation. He couldn't get it onto Bill, though. Tank is looking for his first victim here. That's going to be a Hunter looking to move in and get the stumble. He can't get it, though. Neither can the Jockey. That's a good Smoker, though, which will set up an in-cap onto Bill. However, the tank is being focus fired ruthlessly. He's moving in to try to get some more punches, but he can't really make much more happen. That is going to be an in-cap, and that is going to be a black and white Bill, which of course means that if they get a good charge spit combination on him and send him to 0 HP, he isn't going to be in-capped, he's going to be dead. And speaking of charge spit, they do actually have a charge spit combination followed by a Hunter and a Boomer. If I was them, I would personally try to kill Bill. Oh, that was completely accidental. Sorry, guys. I've made 2 puns, and usually I only make 1 per stream, but I've made 2 now. That's going to be a boom onto 1. Chargers moving in, trying to get the connection, but he can't get the connection. Unfortunately, the only person that landed there was the Boomer. Survivors are going to make their way over the fence here, and they will be making their way into the safe room pretty soon, perhaps dealing with an attack, but at this rate it's not looking likely. No, I don't think they will have to worry about an attack other than from a Jockey. Then again, good separation, Smoker, good separation, Charger. That's very, very good damage, actually. A lot more damage than they would have thought. And I've just got a shout out here from one of my very good friends, Mad Kang, telling me to call him Hans. And do not worry, my friend, you are a handsome man, and I'm not afraid to admit that. So shout out to my boy Kang. Any other shout-outs that you wish to have put onto the stream, then do feel free to let me know. But of course, be aware, guys, that it should be safe for work. It should not be NSFW. No curse words. I won't do any curse words. If you haven't noticed, I do not cuss. I do not curse in my commentating, and I kind of avoid any potentially offensive terms. And well, speaking of that, Kang, my boy, I can't give that as a shout out. I'm very sorry, buddy, but I cannot do that for you. That is completely offensive and completely off limits. Just waiting on one of the 4 Russians to return here. It is also, as well, very helpful for me as a commentator. If you give me any shout-outs, by the way, because it does kind of helps me fill in the gaps as well, which I don't have any difficulty doing. You know, I it's not like I struggle to fill gaps. But it would be perhaps a little bit more amusing if we filled these gaps with some shout-outs. So please do not be afraid to private message me through Steam. My name is Haroldson. So if you're feeling like shouting anybody else or even shouting yourself out, then you know, feel free. And there we are. I see Lion is launching his game, so I believe we will be going into this fairly shortly. Now, the scenario has to be the same as last time, to be honest. the Russian survivors, they really do need to make it to the safe room with a good health bonus. Not to mention, they need to kill the tank while taking very, very little damage. Because that would not be in their favor whatsoever. They need to cover this point margin. It is not quite 2,000, but it is not far off it. It is kind of just below that kind of range there. I've got somebody adding me, perhaps for a shout out. I'm not sure. We will find out soon. But yes, all I can do is apologize on behalf of everybody, really. We are going live though, so sorry about the delay, guys. We had some technical difficulties, and we will be going live now. It's gonna be a Yumi tank, and it's going to be a Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spitter in the hands of the Germanics. Hunter is pre-spawned to the right of the survivors. But of course, the Russians do not want to run into any unnecessary danger. That is the last thing you want to do in a tournament. Smoker's moving in first. Oh my goodness! Ice showing himself to be such a good player there. Well played to Ice. I have to give him props there. And if I could let you guys hear me clapping, I would, because that is a very, very good play by Ice. That was a good skeet onto the Hunter while being smoked. So well played to him. Of course, it's not like ridiculously high level gameplay, but it was still very well played by Ice there. So, you know, him showing Russian skill there, that is just pure, unfiltered Russian skill. Charger, Jockey, Smoker, and the Hunter. It is a quad cap in the hands of the Germanics. That's going to be a Charger moving in. That's going to be a Hunter shut down nicely. The clears are good. Smoker in the distance, but again, shut down so efficiently. So well played by the Russians to keep these clears to this kind of caliber. That's very well played. Madeira, you're asking me to shout out your team. Do you mean Baltic Rim or another team, or am I mistaken? But either way, shout out to Baltic Rim if that is what you if that is what you did mean. That's going to be a Charger moving in, followed by a Boomer. That's going to be a Charge Spit combination. That's not good news for Russia. Very good news for the Germanics though. That's going to be the Hunter shoved, followed by bullets to the face, and that's going to be his death.
Reloading.
Okay, thank you, Madeira. Shout out to Baltic Rim. One of the two teams who unfortunately, as with the other 8 of the other teams, are no longer with us in the tournament, but they put up a fight, and we of course thank them very much for. Smoker, Charger, Boomer, and a Jockey gonna be in the hands of the Germanics, of whom are slowly but surely making their way forward. They're playing patiently. And it's unlike Russian teams to play patiently. That's going to be a missed Charger. That's going to be a separation Jockey, but cleared so quickly. The Russians, honestly, to be honest, despite the Charge Spit combination, are on fire here. But they have to keep that going. They have to keep that consistently prevailing. Because right now they're in a good position and they need to keep that good position.
Reloading.
And these survivors are continuing to make their way forward. That's going to be a Boomer looking to get a boom, but he can't get it though. It's unsuccessful. That's going to be a Hunter landing, but not for very long at all. The damage inflicted onto Zoe hasn't been too bad, but other than that, not much to speak of. They are going to trigger the event, followed by moving back. They don't want to, obviously they don't want to move forward during a crescendo. They are going to look to go to a safe location and, well, deal with it there. That's going to be a Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and a Boomer. Let's just see how they can pull it off here. It's a relatively open area, which means the charger may struggle. In he moves, but he catches onto the fence though. That's going to be a shutdown onto literally everything there. And well, there we have it. Efficient shutdowns so far by the Russians. They are going to be moving through the tunnel here, and I've just got a question here. Well, if you do not wish for your name to be said, then you can tell me specifically for that. That's going to be hopefully a charge bit combination. It ends up being one. That's good damage. That's a good boom as well. That might mean the tank will move in here. The tank actually, yeah, is going to move in with that one-person boom. It's enough for his standards. That's a Hunter landing. That's going to be bad news for Francis. That's going to be a punch onto him again. In he moves. He's going to get the in cap onto Francis, but 900 HP. That's going to be a smoker from below, looking for the separation, but he can't get it just yet. Jockey is jumping around. Rock is traveling in, but he can't land it. They shut down the smoker before any separation is possible. Tank is on the high ground, throwing some rocks on 900 HP. But nothing is stopping the survivors from rushing forward now. They have taken the pain pills of the revived survivor, that being Reg, aka Francis, and they are pushing forward. Nothing against it. That's going to be a charger landing, but for 0.42 seconds. That is going to be a shutdown on the tank and the boomer as well. Wall kick attempt is not successful from MC, and the survivors are going to make their way forward. They're going to go into the safe room. Slowly but surely, but not before dealing with one more attack, or perhaps even two at this rate actually, depending on how well the attack goes. Let's just see how well it does go. That's going to be a charger, jockey, spitter, and a smoker. It's not a bad setup by any means.
Reloading!
Especially not for an indoor choke point, and the safe room is indoors.
Feel so good.
Charger is patiently waiting inside for his victim. His victim, he's not going to want to be Francis, of course, because Francis does not have the health bonus. He wants it to be one of the other three. They're going to choose to attack outside instead, but that is to the demise of all the infected, though. That's going to be only damage inflicted onto Francis, and that's going to be the survivors making their way into the safe room here, and that's going to put the points at 5,416 into the hands of the Germanics, 5,236 points in the hands of the Russians, and this is where we need to take a note, because now we are correct. Thank you, Vanille. That's much appreciated. So there we have it. Look at the point difference separating these two teams. Less than 200 points. And we have 4 more chapters remaining. We're going to be moving into Dead Air here. And Dead Air is a very, very interesting map to end things off here. That's going to be... Oh, I'm so excited, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be moving into a less than a 200-point difference. Points separating these two teams. 4-chapter affair. And, oh my goodness. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The map is being changed, and we will be underway as soon as we are physically able to be. The hype is real. And I'm going to say just a quick break because I do need to get some water because my my throat is not going to be able to handle this intensity. I'm sure of it. So just give me one quick minute. I will be back in a second, guys. Please excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I have returned with my well-needed water here because, whew, what a match. Got a shout out here. Shout out to shoutouts for filling the dead air between rounds. Hey, I like that one. That's a good one. I actually really like puns, and that's kind of a problem because I really want to make them more often than not. Yes, we are setting scores. But I mean, imagine if we get a 10,000 point game. Imagine, like. I've got a shout out from a player who wishes to be unnamed, which is perfectly fine. Props to Power, who is an amazing player. That's very nice of you. I believe I had another shout out. A shout out from my buddy Jay, saying that Kang is a potato. See that kind of stuff? That's fine. I don't mind that kind of stuff. You know, just as long as you keep him friendly, then I'm more than willing to shout them out. And I got a shout out from my boy Joker. Shout out to my homie for the great casting. Thank you, buddy. I'm glad you like my casting. That is one of my best friends there. So so there we have it. And I have a request to say a sentence here as well. Oh, I have a shout out from a player who wishes to be unnamed, but just a shout out to the Mediterraneans, which to be honest, you know, kind of in general, the Mediterranean region played very well in this tournament because there were two Mediterranean teams. There was the Mediterraneans, which was France, Spain, and Italy, and then there was España, Italia, which is well, as the name suggests, Italy and Spain. Sorry guys, can't do any more shoutouts now because we are going live here in the second half of this installment here in Dead Air. That is a very quick shutdown of the Spitter because we have a tank already spawning. That is like pretty much they took one step outside the safe room and immediately the tank spawns. Tank's gonna be in the hands of Snipe as well. That's gonna be a shutdown on the boomer from the Germanics, so they don't have to worry about any boomer. They have a hunter and a jockey, the Russians, however. Which I would say they're okay spawns, but I think a smoker is probably the best spawn here. They do have a smoker. They get themselves a smoker. That's a good result, because a smoker is essential here to kind of set up some punches for the tank, because otherwise he's a bit helpless. Let's just see what Snipe's tank can bring to the table for the Russians here. They are going to make their way in. Tank has already taken a huge chunk of smoker. Can't set anything up for the tank though. There's a good rock onto Zoe, however. Hunter is going for her. That's going to be a punch and a rock onto Zoe. Not much more to follow, though. He is going to be dying here. Unfortunately, I believe he missed the rock, but that's a very good shutdown by the Germanics. Unfortunately, Zoe did eat a rock and a punch, but, I mean, to be honest, that's a very good result. There is a charger, however, in the hands of the Russians, and this is a death charge opportunity. So we're just going to have to see what happens. There's a charger, spitter, smoker, and a boomer. They have a smoker to help the charger as well. That makes it all the more lethal. Spitter's going to move in first and foremost. Charger gets a scratch but can't get anything else. That's going to be a smoker moving in onto Bill, trying to pull him into the spit but couldn't quite do it. And the double boom will not be enough to slow the survivors down to any significant extent, but at least to some extent. Some is going to be better than none. Fortunately for Zoe as well, actually. She is 40 HP exactly. If she was 39, she would be limping. So that's quite fortunate for her, actually. That's a Hunter moving in. Nicely shut down, though. Separation spit by spitting into the doorway. That's going to be a Charger moving in, but he connects with the wall, though. So survivors are going to make their way into the safe room here. And that is going to put their points up to 6,292. And now let's see what the Russians can pull off here, leading into their half of this first chapter of Dead Air in this grand final in Russia versus the Germanics, or the Slavic peoples versus the Russian peoples. Just a quick moment of silence while I sift through my my shoutouts. I had a few. Sorry, buddy. I can't. I mean, I know you don't want to be mentioned, so you won't know if who I'm talking to here. But just unfortunately, I can't give that shout out, buddy. It's not really. It's not the right kind of category. I'm just looking for friendly, safe for work sort of atmospheres. And if I haven't done your shout out, by the way, then don't be scared to remind me as well. Like, you know, send me a couple messages here and there until I do it. Don't be afraid to remind me, and I will check, of course. And I am in need of regular water breaks because my voice. Okay, well, okay, so this one I can do because it's self-deprecating, because you're not insulting anybody, you're kind of like insulting yourself, I guess. Shout out from Roars, who is shouting out Vinny and Elbrus for carrying a noob like me. I'm sure you're not a noob, but nonetheless, just thought I'd give that one there just quickly while we have this downtime. Shout out from my boy Jay. So hyped for this final. Me, Kang, and Quiche all watching, showing our support. Thank you very much, you. It means a lot to me that you guys are all here. I've known you guys for a while, actually. That's going to be a shutdown on the Hunter. That's going to be a Boomer moving in. Not so much to land the boom, just to kind of get rid of the boom, actually, because, you know, boomers are just so difficult to land here. Their options are so restricted. And we've just got a quick, Tosh is asking for a shout out for himself. So shout out to you, Tosh. Glad you're tuning in as well. Another buddy. Jockey, Charger, and a Smoker in the hands of the Germanics. Tank is on the rooftop. He's going to be looking to drop onto the survivors, onto an unsuspecting victim. Hasn't found anybody, though. That's going to be a Jockey moving in. Dead stopped, but not killed just yet. He lands, actually. That's going to be some Charger scratches, followed by a tank rock that can't quite land onto Rochelle. That is a Smoker still landed onto Lewis. That's going to be an in-cap, followed by nothing else. The tank is going to die there with mostly equal damage distribution across the board from the Russians, and the survivors are going to be making their way forward here.
Doing too good here.
Reloading!
They're going to be dealing with a Spitter, Hunter, Boomer, and a Jockey, leading into this this ladder choke point, which actually, to be honest, is in favor of the Russians, I would say, because they don't have to worry about a Charger. They do, of course, have to worry about that separation potential from the Jockey, though. That Jockey can actually have someone hanging here, and that basically means that they are hanging from a ledge and they need reviving. and you can't move away from them. You have to revive them and help them back up. So, but in their move, that's going to be a shutdown onto both the jockey and the hunter. The spitter goes for some delay, and yes, the delay. That's going to be a double boom, but can the double boom slow them down? Well, I mean, we are dealing with the Russians here, and these are very fast people. They are moving through this map with pretty good pace, to be honest. They have an alarm car to worry about. They also have a smoker, of whom is positioned behind it. Hunter is pouncing around. Jockey is moving in, and that's going to be a charger. Unsuccessful. That was actually a quad cap, I believe. Nonetheless, no success has come from it. They have triggered the alarm car, but that's not going to worry them because the safe room is only a few steps away, and they are going to step into the safe room, putting themselves at 6,024. So we're still looking at a very, very close point margin here separating these two teams, and it's anybody's game. And, well, I mean, the Germanics have maintained their lead the whole way through, but my goodness, this is a close game. Got a shout out from Karma. Hey Harold, here is my shout out, and it's for you. Would you accept to come and cast my next land party if I feed you French food and wine? I mean, I like French food. I really like French food. But I'm not so sure about these terms and conditions, buddy. But interesting though. Thank you for the shout out. And also shout out to the 255 people watching. Wow, what a number. What a number indeed. And got a shout out, best of luck to both teams from the Sir Please Administrator team. Oh, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in as well. I appreciate that. That's very much appreciated. We thank you for the best wishes, and best of wishes to you guys too. For your admin work on your servers, you do a very good job. Just waiting on one more person from the Russian roster, and we will be going live here. I mean, this really could be anybody's game here. That this game is so evenly matched. I mean, you know, the only the consistent thing is that the Germanics have been in the lead the whole game, like, but not by much, never by much at all. They really are doing such a good job, both of these teams, and it's too difficult to tell who is going to win here. Rocket boom by proxy onto one survivor. That was quite good actually. Be a hunter and jockey moving in, both of whom are shut down though very easily. That's going to be some damage, which I think is from the spitter, but that's all she wrote for the special infected attack. The Germanics are going to make their way up the ladder with no difficulty, even with the delay spit attempt, and they're going to find themselves into the closed area here, this corridor. Survivors are going to make their way through the corridor here. They have a boomer to worry about from the other side of that door. They have a smoker. Charger is going to move. That's going to be a very good stumble in the spit by the Charger. Look at the damage the Germanics are taking. It is ferocious. What a ferocious attack by the Russians. The Russian spirit coming out on fire there. They demolished the Germanics with that attack. That is some lethal damage, especially onto Zoe, but all across the board, that is some very good damage. Jockey is going in, looking for some chaos. He's trying to get some separation, so is the smoker. Can't make it happen though. That's a boom onto one, that's a shutdown onto the smoker. Separation smoker, that's shut down onto the boomer, I mean. That's going to be a smoke onto Francis, which did separate him, but only temporarily, and the survivors are going to make their way into the more common room, where the survivors tend to take the attacks here in Left 4 Dead 2 on Dead Air. Jockey, spitter, charger, and a hunter, so it's a tri-cap with a spitter in a closed area, but everything is shut down in the doorway at the same time, basically. They all just got annihilated by the focus fire from the very mechanically gifted Germanics. I believe I had another shout out. One more there. Shout out from Madeira. Shout out to Percy for being my close homie. That's a nice one. Smoker goes in. Hunter tries to intercept. Can't make much happen though. That's going to be a shutdown on the Boomer as well. And the survivors are going to make their way forward after shutting down that last attack. Gonna make their way into the open area. Zoe has chosen to take her pain pills. I like the fact that she was patient with them and didn't take them too early. That's going to be a charger onto Francis. Trying to land onto Francis, excuse me. That's going to be him cleared. The charger will die. That's going to be a separation smoker attempt. But Lewis was still there with him, so no separation to come from it. That's such good damage inflicted by the Russians so far, though. Zoe and Francis both need to take pain pills, and somebody is now hanging and then not hanging. That's a weird occurrence. Not sure what to make of that, but okie dokie then. So we have a Boomer, Jockey, Hunter, and a Charger. Let's just see what the Russians can pull off with this. Team Russia, what can they do with this attack? Hunter moves in, so nicely shut down by Josie there. That is going to be no success from... it is actually going to be a successful charge. Pretty good one, and that's going to be some good damage overall. 3 of the 4 survivors of the Germanics are not in good health. That's going to be consumption of Zoe's pain pills with no hesitation, and I imagine that her other companions are going to do the same thing pretty soon. Because, well, if you're lower HP, then it takes less punches for the tank to incap you. Tank is choosing to move in now. Smoker's looking to set up the first punch, of which is not a death punch, but is going to leave Lewis hanging, so he can't do a single thing. Good jukes, well, one good juke by Francis, but he's going to be shut down here. He's going to be in cap. That's a Hunter patiently waiting. That's going to be Zoe and Bill remaining. Smoker goes in first. Hunter is moving in. Nicely skeeted. That is going to be Bill trying to get the angle to free Zoe, but he can't get the angle right. Gets a good skeet onto the rock there. Going to instead revive Francis, where he is successful. That's an interesting decision. I like it, actually. The tank is still at 685 HP. He has a charger and a Boomer to deal with. He's going for the Smoker now. Goes to free the Smoker. Boomer from below can't land the boom. Charger is looking to move in for Bill here, as is the tank on 535 HP. The Boomer is popped with nobody affected. Tank is trying to land the rock here, but he can't land it onto Bill. The tank falls down. He's on 33 HP. Very, very low HP. Lewis is close to dying. Zoe is close to dying. Bill is the only remaining survivor. He looks to shoot the tank from above. He does do so and manages to kill the tank, but the stumble kills Bill. The stumble of the Hunter sends Bill off the edge of the building, and that's going to be the death of Bill. That's so unfortunate for Bill, but that's going to open a window of opportunity for the Russians here, because, well, they do need those. They need those windows of opportunity here, and boy, oh boy, do they have one here. And shout out from my boy Kang. Anybody who plays the game Smite, if they would like to play with somebody on that game, then add Mad Kang. That is MADKANG. If you want to play the game Smite and you are familiar with the game, then he has invited fellow people to come along and join him. And And also shout out from an unnamed individual. Usta emoji is banned. He said. Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Smoker in the hands of the Germanics on the infected side here. I cannot stress enough how crucial this is for the Russians. This is their possibility of essentially coming back from this and taking the lead back. Let's just see if it is at all possible for them. Hunter is pouncing around looking for Zoe. Lands onto Zoe, followed by the Spit, followed by the Jockey as well. Well, that's a good start. It's not great damage, but it is at least something, and it shows the coordination has not been lost as a result of the possible demoralization from the result of the tank. But the synchronization was there. They're looking to delay the survivors with the Spit, but they can't do it because the Spit wasn't properly placed. Unfortunately, they are also without a Spitter, but with a Charger. Then again, could it be a quad cap? Only time will tell. We'll have to see what it ends up being here.
Reloading.
It ends up being a Boomer, so it's not a quad cap, it is a tri-cap with a Boomer. Hunter is moving in from behind, gets the hunt. Smoker as well. That's a good dual cap in the back, actually. Some good damage coming in, inflicted by the Germanics. But all in all, the Russians are still in reasonable health and are going to trigger the event, followed by moving back into the closed area. Essentially the trademark standard location that most teams will be fighting the tank. Charger, Spitter, Hunter, and a Jockey in the hands of the Germanics. Hunter moving in, Jockey moving in. That's going to be a Hunter, and not much to follow though. There's going to be some scratches from the Charger, but the damage is building up slowly but surely. So I have to say, especially onto Zoe and Bill. Lewis and Francis, they're on reasonable HP. They're not too bad. But Zoe on 51 HP is just 1 HP above being half HP. Jockey first, Smoker second. Smoker gets shut down. That's some decent spit damage onto Zoe. Well, some spit damage onto her. Not too much. Zoe has chosen to take her pain pills, followed by taking the spare ones that were in that room there. Hunter and a Charger in the hands of the Germanics right now, followed by a Spitter. There's a Hunter Jockey Charger and a Spitter. Let's just see what they can make happen with it. It is a death charge opportunity location, and well, the Jockey can do a lot here as well. And that's going to be a good Hunter onto Bill, but the Charger falls. The Charger drops off of the ledge, and therefore he can't get the death charge. That's going to be Zoe hanging, however, and they're not going to be able to delay it because it's going to be a bit too late. That's still going to be good damage onto Bill by the Spit, nonetheless, but that's so unfortunate for the Charger there. That could have been a death charge. But let's just see what is going to happen here. The Russians are in sort of good and bad health at the same time, really. I mean, that is literally the case. You know, 2 of them are in very good health, 2 of them not so good. There's going to be a Smoker, Charger, Boomer, and a Hunter in the hands of the Germanics. The Russians have triggered the tank and they're going to move back here. That's a good shutdown on the Charger, excuse me. That's going to be a proxy boom onto 3 survivors, and the tank is not far away from them. I don't know what the Smoker can do. The Smoker is the only real option. They have to delay the survivors here, and to be honest, they are going to choose to not go in despite the triple boom because, well, he would have been focus fired pretty easily. Tank is going to be moving in. That's going to be a smoke onto Francis, but it can't be successful. And the Smoker ends up dying as well. That will be a punch onto Zoe, followed by another. That's going to be 2 more and it'll be an in-cap. That will be the in-cap. That'll be a Charger looking for the connection onto Francis there, but will be shut down. That is going to be a shutdown on the tank as well, and the Russians are looking in a good position here, actually.
Thanks.
Reloading!
I feel
Looking in a good
awful.
position to potentially take the lead back here. They have 1 set of pain pills, but neither of their survivors need to take any. Spitter, Smoker, Boomer, and a Hunter in the hands of the Germanics leading into this staircase choke point. Hunter is moving in first, lands onto Bill, followed by the Spit, followed by the Smoke and the Boomer Stumble. That's very good damage onto the right target as well. That was actually somebody with health bonus, so that's 2 people bleeding. That's going to be 1 person kind of half permanent HP, half bleeding, and that's going to be only Lewis on reasonable HP for the Russians here. There's going to be a Charger, Hunter, Jockey, and a Spitter. A very good indoor attack. Let's just see where they choose to go with it, though. Spitter is spawned up. Charger moves in, but can't land onto anybody. That's going to be a Jockey landing. Hunter landing as well, but not really much to speak of from that attack. And the safe room is very close as well, so the survivors are looking to get into the safe room here and may actually end up doing so without dealing with an attack. Let's just see if they can, though. Spawns are up, so they won't be able to. Bill has just started limping as well, but they have 1 more attack. That's going to be a boom onto 1 survivor. Charger's moving in, can't get the connection, though. The focus fire is too lethal, and that's going to be a shutdown onto the Smoker as well. And Team Russia have taken the lead here, ladies and gentlemen. 6,888 points into their hands versus 6,684 points in the hands of the now behind Germanics. Oh, this is interesting because now the momentum has shifted. I had a quick shout out, and it was a very nice one as well, so I'd like to get to that as soon as I'm possibly able to. If the game lets me, shout out to an unnamed individual. You are doing a good job and performing a very professional casting. Hope to see you cast alongside Dark Angel one day. Thank you very much, my guy. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the support that everybody has given me, and the compliments that people have been giving me on my commentaries, on my commentating. That is always appreciated, guys. So, you know, I'm glad that I'm able to make the games more enjoyable than they already are. And, well, this is certainly enjoyable because the Russians have taken the lead back here. Team Russia showing that Russian and that Slavic spirit and that fire in their bellies and that fire in their hearts, representing the nation of Russia very proudly and so far very effectively. And once again, guys, don't be afraid to send the shout outs in. If you would like to not be named, and if you would like to remain anonymous, then please include that in your shout out when you send it to me in private message on Steam. Otherwise, I will mention who has given me the shout out, so be sure to specify that you wish to remain anonymous. And well, whew, this is anybody's game at this rate, so I don't know. I really just, words escape me. That I can't believe it. The Russians have taken the lead back, so you know, let's just see. There's 2 more chapters remaining here on Dead Air, and this is the Russians' map choice as well, so they're on home territory, basically. The Pacifice was chosen by the Germanics. That's their pick done with, but this is home territory for the Russians because this is their map pick now. Charger, Smoker, Jockey with a Spitter. is going to be the setup for the Germanic. Smoker's going to move in first. Nicely juked, but that'll be a charge spit combination. Nunda followed by a Smoker and a Jockey all on the same target. That's going to be very good damage, actually. Not only onto Lewis, although it was mostly onto Lewis, that's also some decent damage onto the other two, that being Zoe and Francis.
Reloading.
All in all, that was a very successful attack. Zoe has been... Lewis has been reduced to 62 HP. Boomer, Hunter, Smoker, and a Charger in the hands of the Special Infected. Smoker from below. Boomer is going to get a double boom. That's going to be a Boomer traveling up. It's going to be an unsuccessful Charger, though, despite the double boom. And that's going to be the survivors comfortably sitting at the traditional kind of place on the scaffolding kind of structures that people take the crescendo here. Smoker, Jockey, Spitter, and followed by a Hunter. So they have no Charger, but they do have a Tricap, and with it is a Spitter. Jockey moves in first, gets shut down so easily though. That's going to be the same situation for the Hunter. They can't make much happen with the Smoker either, so that's going to be the progression of the Russian survivors, who are moving forward with relative ease here. It's going to be a Boomer, Charger, Jockey, and a Hunter. So it's going to be without the Smoker. Let's just see what they can have, what can happen with this Tricap here. And also, more importantly, let's just see where they choose to execute this this Tricap. Choosing to patiently wait out the remainder of the Crescendo Horde, which, to be honest, you can't really blame them. You don't want unnecessary common infected making your life more difficult than it needs to be. Especially considering these are the top 2 teams in this tournament.
Weapons here.
In terms of, by the way, if anybody is curious, the top 4 of the tournament are the current 2, Russia and the Germanics, and the other 2 is Kazakhstan, Russia, or Kazakhstan, Russia, and the 4th is Turkey. So the top 4 are Kazakhstan, Russia, Russia, Germanics, and Turkey.
Reloading!
Reloading!
Survivors are satisfied with the lack of common infected and are progressing forward now. They do have to be careful of this Boomer though. Hunter is spawned up, gonna be pouncing around. Shut down on the Boomer though. That's gonna be a separated Bill with some scratches from the Charger, followed by the Hunter as well. That's going to be decent damage onto Bill, considering the circumstances. Survivors will continue to make their way into this closed area here. I wonder if they will have pill replenishment as well. That's going to be a smoke in the back, but it is unsuccessful. Onto Bill. Jockey is moving in from the window, looking to get Bill in the medicine cabinet room, but he ends up getting dead stops and shut down as well. And essentially everything is dead other than what's going to be up in 1 second, the Hunter.
Reloading! Reloading!
So they do have a Hunter, and that is actually a 25 damage pounce opportunity. Hunter, Spitter, Smoker, and a Charger in the hands of the Germanics on the infected side. In it moves, that's going to be a Hunter, followed by a Charger. The Spitter was a bit late though. That was a very late Spitter, and unfortunately, as a result of said lateness, that's not going to be any damage from the Spitter. Survivors looking to be in reasonable health and are going to move back. The tank is looking to get as many cars as he can. Oh no, he's just going to ignore that one and instead go for the alarm. He's looking to get as many cars as he possibly can into play. but the Hittables, as you can see, are not treating him very fairly. That was a boom, and that is going to be a boom onto one survivor, followed by a jockey, so that's some damage. But again, the tank is not having much luck with these Hittables. And that Hittable as well there just kind of fell. Tank is going to switch his focus onto the forklift. And I have seen MC perform in this particular tank fight with this forklift. And he has made stuff happen with it. Let's just hope for his sake that he can make something happen with this, though. It is not easy to do. And he's trying his luck, but his luck is not very high right now. He may have to go for punches instead. He has to. He has no other option. Smoker looks to set something up. First punch missed. That's a good dual cap, though. That dual cap is going to be doing some good damage. That's going to be a pin onto Bill. That's going to be a rock attempt, which is skeeted. So that was a good dual cap. Unfortunately, it couldn't be a tri-cap. If that was a tri-cap, then that would have been a white. Nonetheless, the Russian survivors are going to move forward here, and they're looking in good health. Let's put it like that.
Reloading!
Spitter and a Boomer, accompanied with a Smoker and a Jockey. Arguably, as many would agree, the worst setup in the game, but I've seen a lot happen with it. Let's just see if something can happen with it in this scenario. It's going to be a Smoker onto Zoe. It's going to be a good shutdown by the Russians onto the Jockey, denying Zoe any extra spit damage. Then again, the damage has been okay. They just need to focus their damage onto Zoe and Francis specifically, because those two hold the highest health bonus among essentially everybody in the squad. Boomer, Charger, Hunter, and a Jockey in the hands of the Germanics. That's going to be a shutdown on the Boomer, though. Nice shutdown by Reg.
Weapons here.
They could actually perhaps wait to see if it's a quad cap as well, because if they land a quad cap, that would be very, very good news. It is a Spitter, unfortunately, not a quad cap. Good wall kick, though, onto Lewis, of whom is going to be the person they focus their damage onto. But again, late Spitter. The Spitter was quite late there, and that is going to deny a lot of potential damage. That's the second time that's happened. They're going to maintain the pills for that added bonus, but, well, there we have it. The Russians are going to make it into the safe room here. Smoker is there, but I mean, he's nothing to worry about. So survivors will make it into the safe room. The Russians currently have 8,080 points versus 6,684 points in the hands of the Germanics, but they have their survivor round to play. So depending on how well they play, they could they can definitely stay in this game and keep this point margin minimal. And that is what was going to be the fastest ready up I've ever seen, but I noticed a trend. Whenever there's like an extremely fast ready up, it's always denied. And it gets to me. It gets to me. It truly cuts a scar in my heart. Nah, just kidding. But it is a little bit annoying. We will be looking at the same setup as always, the same starting setup for the Special Infected. They have that charge spit combination, of which has proven to be very lethal in numerous occasions in this installment here. Survivors being patient and calculated. But of course, there is prize money on the line. Being the champions of Europe is something you want to be. That's going to be a good shutdown on the Charger, as well as the Smoker. However, the damage which has been inflicted onto Zoe, oh, they're not going to be happy with that whatsoever. And I have to say, I think it was actually a high pounce. So, wow, that is such a bad result already. But of course, onwards and upwards, it's not all over. There is a Charger, Hunter, and the Jockey, accompanied with a Boomer in this current Tri-Cap in the hands of the Russians. Hunter is pouncing around, gets himself shut down already though. Wow, he wasn't even looking to attack, he was just distracting. Boomer again, shut down from below very efficiently. That was such an impressive shutdown on that Hunter there, actually. He wasn't pouncing at the survivors, he was pouncing just to literally kind of like reposition and distract. So that's very well played by the Germanics. They have to keep in mind this is a very late tank as well. So maintaining their health is all the more beneficial to the Germanics. And I have another person adding me, I assume, for shoutouts. So feel free to add me, guys. Feel free to send shoutouts my way via private message on Steam. It's more than fine with me. So with this Charger, Smoker, Spitter, Tri-Cap, wait, excuse me, what? A Charger, Smoker, Jockey Tri-Cap with the Spitter. There is, it is looking like they are going to wait with this Tri-Cap, the Russians. And that is, again, that is not a safe for work shout out, buddy, I'm afraid. I can't give you that one. Also, shout out from Empty Blue to myself. Shout out to me for casting these games, and thank you very much. I'm glad that people are enjoying it. That's going to be a Jockey moving in, Hunter moving in, Hunter, everybody for the same target. That's going to be significant damage onto Zoe, of which will be extended further by the Smoker. That's just not a good result for the Germanics, but a very good result for the Russians. They have kept the pressure up very well here, and this kind of pressure, you know, this kind of pressure, and we could even be looking at a wipe, so they need to be very careful, the Germanics here. They are against very fierce opposition, the Russians, and let's just see. Hunter, Jockey, and the Smoker Tri-Cap, followed by a Boomer. Smoker's going to move in. That's going to be onto Zoe. That's going to be a shutdown onto the Hunter in 0.23 seconds as well, so good reaction times. And they have maintained, other than Zoe, they have maintained their health very well. And I got a shout out from Krychax there, calling me attractive. Let's not say that word. Let's say attractive instead. Thank you very much. And from Death Ahead, a quick shout out to DDA from Dudley. Going to be a Jockey, Charger, Spitter, and a Boomer preparing above the survivors for the next attack. Let's just see what happens here. Both of these teams are under immense pressure. This isn't an alarm car as well, so they have to be careful of that fact. Very patient gameplay by the survivors, but you would expect it. Boomer from behind, nicely shut down by MC though. MC is such a good player, honestly. Like, he really is just a top caliber player, but of course that is predictable. He is in the grand finals after all, so you kind of have to be good to be in the grand finals of something. And also thank you again, Death Ahead, for the compliment. That you're enjoying the cast, very much appreciated. Tank is moving in from behind the survivors, tries for the dumpster but can't get it. Survivors are going to make their way out into the open area here, so that's a dramatic reposition. Let's just see what happens here as a result of it. This map is familiar territory for the Russians. I can see why they picked it, because they seem to be very efficient and proficient with it. Let's see what Lion's tank can bring to the table here. He is going to be moving in for the survivors. Hunter is going to be moving in. Nicely shut down, though, is the Hunter. Charger moves in. Can't land, though. That's going to be a pin onto Lewis in the corner. They need to kill this tank before that's an in-cap. They do so, and that's going to be Thug Life, aka Lewis, on pretty low HP. He has to take his pain pills. He has no other option. And shout out from Empty Blue to MC for being an absolute champ. And my goodness, Empty Blue, I agree with you. I agree with you well and truly, Empty Blue. MC is a phenomenal player. Like, he is showing himself to be such high caliber here in this installment. As is Ice, actually. Ice from the Russian side is also showing himself to be very, very good. It's going to be a Hunter crouching behind the corner. That's going to be a Smoker looking for Zoe there, but cannot make the connection. Makes the connection this time, but will be pinning Zoe in the corner, but the spit does not spread favorably whatsoever, so she does not take spit damage. Survivors will be moving forward here. Possibly dealing with an attack at the staircase. Nah, they won't be. No attack at the staircase. They will be dealing with one final attack here just before the safe room, of which has a charger, of which is moving in, but gets shut down so quickly, as does the Smoker and everything else. There's only a Boomer that remains, but the Boomer can't really do anything. Survivors will make it into the safe room here, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a 4-point difference. You can't script this stuff. You can't make this stuff up. This is not scripted. Wow. Like, Vanille, is my math wrong here? Am I seeing things? Am I seeing things? This is a 4-point difference leading into the final chapter here of Dead Air. There are 4 points separating these two teams between who's going to come out on top and who's going to be falling. I mean, to be honest, neither of these teams are going to fall because they both are going to get prize money, of course, being first and second place. But wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have a battle on our hands here. These guys are fighting tooth and nail, tooth and claw. They are fighting with blood, sweat, and tears. Hopefully not literally, I wouldn't want that. But nonetheless, this is exciting. And we are going live, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be a Thug Life tank as well. That's not good news whatsoever for the Russians. Thug Life is a very talented player, and he is very good on the tank. So that is not what they're going to want. Hunter, Spitter, Smoker, and a Boomer is going to be the setup for the Special Infected here. The Special Infected are choosing to attack a little bit later. Lewis is moving in first before his other buddies. Let's just see what happens here, though. The Hunter wall kick could prove to be lethal. Hunter is moving in for Lewis here. Separation Smoker. That's going to be a stumble in the spit from the Hunter. Look at the damage. Oh my goodness, it's an in-cap already. Wow, they have barely left the safe room and the Russians have already suffered an in-cap. Look at the pressure the Germanics are inflicting onto the Russians here. Already an in-cap, already pain pills consumed, and the survivors are going to continue to make their way forward after that attack. That's a separation charger. That's a tri-cap. We have a tri-cap now, and I mean the jockey, and it was actually a quad cap. Separation Hunter in the back. The separation jockey is cleared, but wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have a battle on our hands here. And this has been absolutely ruthless. The survivors have triggered the event and are going to make their way underneath this kind of structure here, but they are not in the greatest of health, albeit 3 of them are on permanent HP. 1 of them is not, and they have been taking damage here and there. So Charger is rocketing in, looking for the bunny hops, but here is where the... Well, look at that smoke, actually. That smoke onto Francis through the spit. Again, very, very good damage by the Germanics. These attacks are so good indeed, Joken. Exactly what I'm thinking. Shout out to the attacks being inflicted by the Germanics. They have been so good. Boomer, Hunter, Jockey, and Charger, Jockey, Hunter, and a Boomer is going to be the attack here in this kind of ticketing check-in area. Let's just see what the Germanics can pull off here. They are choosing to attack a little bit later, actually. Choosing to reposition to a little bit further ahead to kind of the luggage escalators or whatever they're called. I have no idea what they're called, to be honest with you. But the tank is 70% as well, so it's a fairly late tank, which makes the dynamic of this game slightly interesting. That is going to be a Boomer getting a proxy boom onto 1 survivor. That means the remaining special infected will either attack or wait for the spawn to replenish. I don't know what they're going to do just yet. Looking like they are going to wait at this rate. Although the hunter is the hunter's location has been given away, and he has been chipped as well. They're going to be moving in though. That's going to be a jockey from behind. That's going to be a very good jockey actually. Stumbling Zoe off of the platform there. The damage that has been inflicted is significant. And that's going to be a shutdown onto the Spitter. That will be the tank spawning in the hands of Thug Life, of whom is going to make his way over to the survivors as quickly as he can. And I'm sure he has a thing or two to say to them. And I don't think he's going to say it. I think he's going to use his fists and let his fists do the talking. Let's just hope that his special infected support are good enough, though. That's going to be an unsuccessful Boomer. We almost have 300 viewers as well, which is really hype, I have to say. It's going to be 10 seconds on the clock in terms of the... Oh, tank stuck? Is the tank stuck, really? Can we spawn anew? Well, I mean, probably have to, yeah. Okay, sorry guys, slight silence gonna have to happen here. We have some technical difficulties. Okay, so we are getting the administrator of the servers involved so that we can be going live. We will be looking to respawn the tank, as in essentially spawn a new one, because this current tank is stuck. And also, I missed a shout out from Madness. Actually, sorry, Madness. Shout out to Pump Addicts, and also your favorite caster being me, I suppose. So thank you for that. I'm glad I'm your favorite caster. That is an honor. But yes, now is the time for some shout outs, by the way, guys. Bring them in. If you would like any shoutouts, now is the perfect time because we do have some downtime, and therefore I am not currently commentating. But obviously, I would also like to give a shout out to everybody who has made this tournament possible. Everybody from start to finish, whether that's Vanille, the current camera person, or whether that's F as well, being another camera person, and essentially everybody. Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna have to do. Because that may have to be done. Yeah, because if we're not able to respawn the tank, then unfortunately what we will probably have to do is I am flooding the server by sending 2 messages. I am absolutely not. You will not accuse me of this, server. That is inappropriate. Shout out from Dead Death Ahead. Shout outs to Dinosaur from Kuma. Shout out to the great work of F-Air for his streaming work also, which yes, I did actually shout him out as well. Because he also gave some very good camera work. And I got another shout out, I think. Shout out to Madness and Uster for showcasing such amazing friendship and being role models. Yeah, they just need to say their HP 37 exactly. 120 2 bills. Yeah, so essentially what we're doing, guys, is we are essentially re-scripting this. Like, we're going to put them in the exact same location. We're going to damage them on purpose until they're in the health they're in right now, and then we're going to spawn the tank again. Basically, we're going to restart the chapter and do that. So in the meantime, we are going to be essentially doing that. And again, still some chances for some shout-outs as well. And the shout-out, by the way, to Madness and Uster for showcasing amazing friendship and being a role model. That is from Empty Blue, by the way. Just so that everybody, just so that those two are aware, not everybody, unless anybody else cares. Shout out from Bruce15. Shout out to Crychats. And shout out from Zensei007. Shout out to my boy Mark the Weeb. Weeb is just about appropriate enough for me to say. And another question as well. Had a question. Be down. Yeah, I'm always down to cast games. Like, I enjoy commentating games, and it is an opportunity that I very, very rarely pass. So I have actually already casted some of the Easy One Cup tournaments as well. I hear there's a lot of spam going on in the chat, so try to keep the spamming to a minimum, guys, just so that people can actually read what's happening.
I'm reloading.
Thank you, Crychaks, saying best caster EU Haraldson. Thank you very much, Crych. Like Oh, I think I lagged a bit there. I'll repeat that just in case I lagged and it wasn't heard. Shout out from Krychax, Best Caster EU Haraldson. Thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate that. Did that oh my goodness, my connection. What is going on? Vanilla. Oh, did Palsal heard it? Yeah, okay, good, right, yeah. Because my connection is being a bit jittery at the moment. But yeah, so right now, this is the gameplay you're seeing right now is not actually what they're doing. They are just kind of getting themselves into, they're going to get themselves into a similar position where they were before. And we're going to respawn the tank in the same location. That is what we are doing at the moment. But thank you very much, guys, for the support and for putting me in your favorites. It's really appreciated, and I can't thank you enough, to be honest, for encouraging me and essentially supporting something that I really love doing. And now we all have a group hug. Nah, just kidding.
Reloading.
Okay, so now the survivors, as we said before, they are damaging their survivors to the appropriate numbers. We do have a pause though for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Okay, so remember, guys, bring in the shout outs, and by the way, by shout and I mean like add me on Steam if you don't have me added, and like private message me, because I can't really read the Twitch chat very well. So it's better if you do shout outs via private message on Steam as opposed to the Twitch chat. Although Vanille does paste some to me as well in the Twitch chat. But definitely private message me because it's much more efficient that way. Shout out from Karma again. Thank you for the tournament. Your great work as a caster. You helped all of us enjoying the lockdown for a few hours. Well, I'm very glad, actually. Honestly, the timing of the lockdown and the tournament was actually quite it was actually quite decent. But yeah, so I'm glad I can bring you guys some much needed amusement in these current times, which now that we're on that topic, is a good chance for me to remind everybody to just remember the current climate of the world. Remember that we do currently have the coronavirus, and please remember to stay safe. Make sure to take care of yourself. Make sure that you're being cautious, and just above all else, keeping yourself in good health.
Reloading.
And that's just that's my shout out to all of you people watching. And I got a shout out from Madness to Usta being his favorite Turkish player. That's nice. Madness's favorite Turkish player is Usta. Did I have a few more? I could have sworn I had a few more there. Let me just scroll through these. And Krytax shouting out that that Frey is his favorite gamer girl. Interesting. And shout out from VAC to Power. And there was, I think, one more. Shout out from Discreet to VAC. I hate him, but he... okay. Interesting. Wait, he was in cap, wasn't he? Yeah, I just remembered that. I thought they were,
Reloading!
Reloading!
Okay, it appears they were okay. That's fine. No worries.
Reloading!
Reloading.
So, Thug Life Tank. Let's just see what he can make happen here, because there are very little points separating these two teams. Smoker's looking to set something up, but he can't do so just yet. Tank is in a bit of an interesting position here. He's separated two survivors though. Special Infected are looking to move in pretty. That is going to be a jockey moving in, landing onto Bill, but not much more to follow from the tank. The tank can't really make much happen here. Goes for a rock onto Lewis, but can't make it happen. And unfortunately for the tank, he is actually going to die there. And he did not achieve very much at all, but that's not really his fault. The Special Infected support wasn't quite there. It is a difficult tank fight, mind you. And, well, that just proves why it's difficult for the tank, at least. For the survivors, it's a little bit more favourable. There's a Spitter, Hunter, Smoker, and a Boomer in the hands of the Germanics here. Let's just see what they can make happen with that Boomer Spitter chaos. Especially considering it's a closed area, that would be very much in their favour. The Boomer is positioned above and behind the survivors. Zoe is behind them as well. She's kind of spawn blocking. Very smart. 3 of the 4 Russians are bleeding at this moment in time. It's going to be some damage onto the Hunter though in front. So much damage, in fact, that he's only 21. That's going to be a skeet onto him, but I mean, well, a 21 Hunter HP, you could skeet that with a pistol, let's be honest. The Boomer has not yet gone. He gets a boom onto one survivor, that one survivor being Zoe, but I mean, it didn't really matter too much, honestly. It's going to be a Charger, Jockey, and a Smoker. They might look to attack here with it, or they might look to see if they get a quad cap. Could even be a quad cap, actually. It is indeed a quad cap, and the safe room is not far away at all. So they could land a quad cap here outside the safe room. Let's just see if they are able to. It's an interesting position. It could go either way. Hunter is pouncing around. Charger is moving in. Charger is focus fired and shut down, though. That is going to be a good dual cap nonetheless. And, but well, I mean, that's it really. Survivors are going to progress into the safe room here, and they are going to get themselves up to 8,956 points. Now, I have to say, and I have to really emphasize that the Russians have not won this, because if the Germanics get a good health bonus, they can win this. They really can. Got a few shout-outs there. Shout-out from VAC. Shout-out to Discreet for being my favourite homie, and hope we can kiss again soon. It's very nice. And did I get a few more shout-outs? I don't remember. No more shout-outs. Okay, we're good to... So... that is going to be a shutdown of one of the 4 Special Infected there already. That's going to be the survivors playing quite patiently. For reasons I'm unsure of. I'm unsure why they're still in the safe room here. Okay, there we are. Spitter, Smoker, Boomer, and a Hunter. Let's just see what they can make happen with it. The Russians really do need to wreak havoc onto the survivor side here, because this is there's a lot at stake here. Hunter is going to be wall kicking, landing onto Francis, followed by the Smoker, but the Smoker is shut down as well as the Boomer, and they mitigated that damage actually very efficiently, and they're going to progress with relative, just ease, just simply ease. They're going to make it through both of these corridors, and they're going to make it down the escalator as well at this rate. And I got a few shoutouts, but I'm gonna have to wait with them for now. That's gonna be a Hunter spawned up in the back, pouncing around. That's gonna be a good jockey, good Hunter. That's gonna be some decent damage being inflicted here, which is not good news for the Germanic. They have cleared everything at long last, and they are going to make their way now underneath this structure here, which is the best place to take the crescendo. There's going to be a shout out from Sens, and a shout out to Ramirez TM. She's my favorite anime girl and a great friend. And also shout out. Nope, I'm not going to read that one out. I'm not going to read that one out at all. That's going to be a Boomer landing onto one survivor. Not much more to follow though. And that's going to be the survivors in pretty good HP at this point. The majority of the damage has been inflicted onto Lewis and Francis, while Bill and Zoe are looking in good HP. Krychak's giving a shout out to that he loves his brother Power. A lot of love and positivity being spread around here. I very much enjoy it. Hunter, Charger, Jockey, and a Spitter in the hands of the Special Infected.
Weapon over here.
Reloading.
Just see what they make happen with it, though.
Hey, there's weapons over here.
Very patient gameplay, but they can afford to be patient because none of them are bleeding. When you're bleeding, it's a much more it's more difficult to play patient. That is a crouching Hunter landing. That's a dual cap. That's a spit onto Bill, followed by a charge. But the charge I don't believe was in the spit. But still, that's going to be some very good damage. There's one survivor I can't see. Never mind, I see him. So that damage actually, especially onto Francis, was pretty decent.
Reloading.
Shout out from my boy Kang to Charlotte. She's my waifu, and waifu with the mostest. So, not sure what that means, but okay. Okay, Kang. That's a boom onto one survivor, but the tank is a bit too far away to make anything happen with it. And also, shout out from Death Ahead. Shout out to Manko for being best tank in North America. Myself being from the United Kingdom in England, and much further away in Europe. I have no idea who the best tank is, and I just simply will have to take your word for it, because I do not, I am not familiar. That is going to be a Hunter and a Jockey. 8 seconds remaining for the third and final spawn for the Russians. This tank fight is going to be so crucial for them, because this is going to be whether or not... Well, this is going to determine a lot of things, really. That's going to be a successful punch onto Francis. He's quite far away, though. That's going to be a boom onto one survivor. Tank is on 2k HP. Could be an in-cap. Is going to be an in-cap. Dead stop on the Jockey. That's going to be a Hunter landing onto Zoe. That's going to be a lot of damage onto her as well. They're going to try to clear her with the dual pistols, but they can't do it until she's in-capped. That's going to be the death of the tank, and the survivors need to really do need to be quick and efficient here. They need to revive both of their survivors. They have a Spitter for potential delay, but the Spit can't get any delay and is going to instead move further forward here. Charger, Smoker, Spitter, and a Boomer in the hands of the Russian. Charger moves in, connects, and the Spit is not quite able to follow in time though. Which is a very bad result for the Russians actually, because that was Lewis, and Lewis is very high HP. Well, in relative, let's say. He's not very high HP, but in terms of relative to the rest of his team, and the fact that he has permanent HP, he is very high HP. So, you know, they have to be very careful. Survivors are moving forward. Hunter, Smoker, Jockey, and a Charger. It is a quad cap here. Jockey is in the front, moving in. That's going to be a Jockey landing. Charger, double Charger. That's going to be possibly a tri-cap. It is a tri-cap. Oh my goodness, the Russians are wreaking havoc here. And that's going to be such significant damage as well. It is looking like they are going to revive Bill here.
And back to work.
Reloading.
Thanks a lot.
Reloading!
And, well, they're going to be taking their pain pills and moving forward here.
Reloading.
Boomer's going to spawn up ahead, get a boom onto one survivor. Spitter has yet to spawn. Going to be spawning with the Hunter. Hunter lands, Jockey lands, Spit lands, everything lands, and that's going to be significant damage, plus an in-cap again onto Zoe there. That is unfortunately going to be GG's called out by everybody. But well, there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be announcing it just as soon as they make it into the safe room. There's going to be a Charger in the back, moving in, gets shut down, and that's going to be them into the safe room. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The champions of Europe are in fact the people you're looking at, not right now because they've just left, but Russia. Russia has been crowned the champions of Europe. Wait, sorry, Vanilla, did I just get that wrong? Did I just get that wrong? The winner? Yeah, so sorry, I tripped out for a second there, and I thought, hold on, did I get that wrong? But no, so Russia, Russia, they have been crowned the champions of Europe, and congratulations to them, and my, you know, condolences to the Germanics who were not able to prevail. Nonetheless, I mean, 8,956 points in the hands of the victorious Russians, 8,648 points in the hands of the Germanics, and well, Russia is the champion region of Europe. And there we go. That's the tournament over. The emotions will not be over for a long time. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and making this the greatest thing that I have ever created. And we got a max viewer count as well of 318. Thank you so much, guys. This tournament has been absolutely ecstatic. And here we are, Russia. Congratulations to Russia. You can celebrate as much as you like, Russia, because you guys are the champions. You guys are the champions of Europe here. So thank you very much, everybody. It has been a pleasure, and this will be the last of the installments of the European Nations Cup you will ever see. And that is it from us. So thank you to everybody. It is GG's, and it is goodbye.